Well, hello, welcome to Raccoon Point Studios. I'm Sean Bombs, and today I want to talk about the Boss ME-90, some of its shortcomings, things to be aware of, so you can get the best out of this unit, especially if you're using it as a standalone unit without an amp. You're using the built-in preamps. These are some things that can help this thing sound a little bit better. All right, so there's some issues that I found. They might not be issues to you, but for me, it's kind of weird. So the first thing is the output level coupled with low headroom. So low headroom means this thing clips digitally internal way early compared to other units that I've used over the past few years. So I find when using the built-in preamps that the output level is best on the preamp itself at 50. Now, if you go to 75, you'll probably be okay, but then it comes into play if you're using this EQ afterwards, or if you're using different effects, then you might start having different weird clipping issues go on, or just unwanted artifacts. So I'm going to show you why I find it to be problematic when using it in a DAW, like recording. So might not be as a big deal when you're doing it live, and especially if the sound guy has a nice little mixer or whatever, he can level it up for you, no big deal. But here, using it as you're supposed to with a line input, so you don't get any noise, I see the level very low. So here's a high gain sound. And that is at least 10 dB lower than I usually like to record at. So when I'm recording, you see these meters I'm using. These are venue peak meters in Pro Tools. I do that because 0 here for me is better than 0 all the way up there, because then I'm going to want to hit that 0 because I'm just wired that way. I want to hit the top, you know what I'm saying? So let's look at it in this way, because most people might use sample peak. Now, I usually am going between -20 and -10 on sample peak. So that's usually a good level for me. The drums are going, it pushes the speakers really nice. I'm going to go back to my preferred metering. I want to crank it up. Yes, I can use my universal audio output level. I can use the console to do that. But what if you don't have any of that stuff? You're just going into the line in. Then you're going to go to your, let me fucking get that. So what if you want that? You want to level it up. And let's see, 85. So 85, it's already got this distortion thing going on. And this happens whether it's a clean channel or not. Like if it's overdrive, a high gain channel, or a Fender Tweed, it'll do this. Now it's even worse when I go all the way up. And now let me show you Pro Tools. It's just noise. It's just got this digital crunch that no matter what, it sounds like straight garbage. So the first recommendation is around 50, 53, whatever. Between 50 and 60, I would keep it there, level it up later, and all that fun stuff. And the other thing is, you're going to want to get some decent IRs, because the IRs in this thing, for certain sounds, might be okay. For high gain, here's theirs. And then here's the one that I purchased. So theirs is very mid-range honky sounding, especially with the way I EQ'd it. Maybe, you know, if I was listening to that one, when I EQ'd it, I would be doing it differently. But the starting point with this Mesa IR is just tighter sounding. The bottom end is sounding a lot closer to what I would want in the bottom end for a high gain sound. So that's that. So now I'm going to play for you a song that I created with the Boss ME-90. It probably wasn't exactly this sound, but it's something close to it. So enjoy, and we'll do another thing when we come back. So there's two issues I want to talk about next. The first one is the tuner. So let's look at the tuner and just watch how this thing is. It can be a little finicky. I've tuned things and they've not been in tune to where I, have to finish by ear, which is not uncommon, but look how this is all over the place. It's just a little crazy. And then on the unit, you have really not a lot of indication when you're in tune because it doesn't have all this little stuff. It's just these boom, boom, boom in the middle. And it's just not the greatest. That's all. It's kind of slow on the unit. See, no matter what, I feel like I'm still out of tune. And I purposely used the tuner through this whole thing. So if you hear anything out of tune, that's why. Usually I use a better tuner. I usually use a Korg tuner or something like that, So the other thing with this unit is it can sound a little flat, especially when doing like an edge of breakup type of tone. You dig in and it kind of can compress a little bit and just get choked sounding. So I'm going to show you a little thing. See? And what I do to combat that is I'll use this EQ and it's post the preamp. So it opens up the spectrum of brightness and, it just does something that helps a little bit. You hear things clearer when I dig in and you can hear the strings a little bit better. And it takes a little low end out, but it's okay because the bass is taking care of that anyway. So here's the same thing. All right. And that's one thing. That helps. So enjoy this next little jam that I did using an edge of breakup type of tone. And I think that it sounded pretty decent. In the one part, I use a fuzz for the lead. But in the beginning, I'm just using my volume for some of the dynamics in the lead part. All right, so enjoy. So the last thing that is lacking in this unit is a ping pong delay or a stereo delay. There is a few of the algorithms have somewhat of a stereo spread, but not huge, not in any meaningful way. And even, the stereo chorus isn't that wide, in my opinion. Here is a JC120. Sounds good. If I put the stereo chorus on, whoops, there we go. It's, it's not really that big of a difference. It's not that stereo to me. There's no stereo delays. So I feel though, if you put your delay and your reverbs on, with that stereo chorus, you can get somewhat of a stereo sounding. So it's a little bit, but it's not like, as wide as I would like it to be. So in this next and last example, I recorded all the guitars in stereo with this unit and used the chorus on the bass guitar too. And yeah, so enjoy. So that's it for the Boss ME-90. I think it's a decent unit for the price. You get a lot of effects and a lot of different amps and stuff that you can use and mix and match and all that fun stuff. But I just wanted people to be aware of some of the shortcomings, things to be cautious of when using the unit so you can get the best out of the units. And, you know, these things you're not going to get from the people that get sent these units. No flame to those people, but they're simply just not going to tell you that this is a thing. Okay? So, you know, with all these kind of videos, you gotta take them with a grain of salt. Sometimes you just gotta get the unit yourself, try it out, see how it works with what you do. You know what I'm saying? So with that, please subscribe, hit the like, hit the bell. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.